Winx Club was an animated television series that was first aired in Italy, but after its success, it also aired in Nickelodeon, which made it an international hit. It was set in a magical universe that was inhabited by fairies and other mythical creatures. With 8 good seasons running from 2004 to 2023, today we shall see some of the characters who rolled in the show and who they were, then talk a little about the people behind the voices, where they are and how old they are after 21 years. Let us begin with the crown princess called Daphne, who was the main protagonist of the show, and was the former keeper of the dragon's flame and the eldest daughter of a king known as Fairytale and Queen Marian. She was the nymph of Nyx and the last of the 9 nymphs of magic. She was a problem solver, as we saw how she always helped out her sister and even her friends in times of trouble. She was also a loving woman, and even though she mostly acted serious and tough, she sometimes smiled and cheered when everything was going well. She was voiced by Elizabeth Gillies, who is an American actress and singer, and is also married since 2020 to her husband Michael Corcoran. Princess Bloom was the fairy of the dragon flame, and the younger sister of Princess Daphne. She was the founding member of the Winx Club and was actually recognized to be the leader of the group. Her skin was slightly fair and her hair was red and orange in color, and also her eyes were big and cyan in shape. In the first seasons, she started off as an insecure girl because of her ignorance of her true origins and her strange potent powers. But as seasons went by, she grew more confident and aware of her true self. She was an impatient and stubborn lady who always ran away when things got more confusing and hot for her. Voiced by Molly Quinn, who is an American actress that has worked in theater and television almost all her life. Now to Aisha, a 16-year-old girl who first appeared in the 2nd season of the show and was another main character. She was so open-minded and opinionated to topics and ideas, and also somewhat good in giving practical and pragmatic advice. Again, she was a talented dancer who spoke many languages, and also strongly against romantic entanglements with boys. She was a member of the Winx Club and was voiced by the famous Keke Palmer, an American actress, singer, and television personality, and her full name being Lauren Kiana Palmer. Mitzi was the school rival and the neighbor of Bloom in Gardenia. She always tried too hard to become the most popular girl in school, which often irritated everyone she came into contact with. She very much boasted of how rich her family was, and demanded to be loved and respected by all. A self-centered lady, who was also very hot-headed and hated nature. And just like a normal rich sassy girl, she was extremely spoiled and always loved shopping. She was mean to the Winx and often tormented everyone who was not on her side. A cruel lady voiced by Daniela Monet, who is an American actress and entrepreneur, a singer and a TV personality. She rose to fame while playing the role of Megan Kleinman in the sitcom known as Listen Up, and also Rebecca Martin in the Nickelodeon show known as Zoe 101. And now Sky, who was the crown prince of Heraklion, and the son to King Erender and Queen Samara. He was a member of a group known as the Specialists, and was a man with a strong sense of duty due to his royal position. Everyone knew him as a great leader, was kind towards others, and seemed to have no problem making friends. He was quick to spring into action whenever someone needed help, and was always there for his friends and family throughout. He was voiced by Matt Shively, who is an American actor that is a Nickelodeon legend, and is mostly recognized for his role as Ryan Laserbeam on the Nickelodeon series known as True Jackson. Flora was the fairy of nature who hailed from Lynfia. The Winx team always relied on her for her portions and advice concerning magic, and was also one of the founding members of the Winx Club. She was known to be very calm and soft-spoken, and also very sweet, caring, and genuinely someone who loved plants and vegetation of all kinds. Being interested in experimenting with plants, she became the portion master of the group who specialized in brewing and creating remedies and medicines from the uses of her magical plants. Voiced by Alejandra Reynoso, who is a voice actress and a video game actress popularly known for offering her voice in Castlevania and Pokémon Horizons. The Crown Princess Stella was the fairy of the sun and moon, and was a creative and skilled artist who is also one of the founding members of the Winx Club. She had a long blonde hair that flowed below her waist, and also had beautiful golden amber eyes. And even though she was usually a proud and self-centered lady, she always cared deeply for her friends and family, and would do anything to keep them safe. She did not smile as much, but would often crack jokes to cheer her friends up when they are going through some depressing stage. And in addition, she was very obsessed with fashion, and always rocked different outfits throughout the show. She was voiced by Perla Liberatore, who is an Italian voice actress and a dubbing director in films and shows. Musa was the fairy of music who hailed from melody and acted as its guardian fairy. She was a skilled singer and musician who was another founding member of the Winx Club. She loved singing and dancing, and played every instrument there ever was, and her favorite was the flute, as it was the first ever instrument she learned to play. She had a strong will and personality, and was emotionally mature even after breaking up with her boyfriend. She was voiced by Lisa Ortiz, who is an American actress and voice director, and is also a veteran in Sonic X and Sonic the Hedgehog. Darcy was a member of the Tricks, which was a trio of witches, and was the most intelligent and devious of the three. She used illusions of darkness and hypnotics to confuse and control her opponents. And among the three witches, she was the most aggressive and sadistic, and very violent and openly condescending towards others. Voiced by Federica de Bortoli, who is an Italian voice actress born and raised in the beautiful streets of Rome. Tecna, as from her name, was the fairy of technology. She hailed from Zenith and acted as its guardian fairy. Being a member of the Winx, she was often relied on as the group's tactician and strategist due to her high IQ and her ability to keep her cool in stressful times. She loved technology and was said to have an IQ of 150. She was self-confident and a perfectionist, who was always logical and practical. She was also very nice to everyone, and always showed high levels of care and affection to her friends and family. She was voiced by Domitilla D'Amico, who is an Italian actress who voices both English and Italian animations and cartoons. The Crown Princess Roxy was the fairy of animals who joined the Winx Club in Season 4 as its 7th member. She was the youngest of the fairies, and was a lover of animals both big and small. Crown Prince Nereus was a Triton and the son of Neptune, who was the king of the seas on Andros and Lygia. Queen Marian, who was also referred to as Queen Miriam, was the queen of Domino, and was the wife to King Oritel and the biological mother of Daphne and Bloom. She was also the co-founder of a group known as the Company of Light. Kiko was Princess Bloom's pet rabbit, who was a blue and white rabbit with large dark brown eyes and had a patch of white hair on top of his head and on his chest as well. Helia was the boyfriend of Flora, and was a great student as well as a great pilot. Riven was one of the original 4 specialists, and was an uncooperative loner, a skilled fighter, and the boyfriend of Musa. Timmy was the brains of the specialists, and was a shy and a smart lad who was also Tecna's boyfriend and the best friend of Helia. And finally Brandon, who was the bodyguard and the best friend of Sky, and was also a skilled swordsman and the boyfriend to Stella.